Thank you for allowing me to meet this man. May we continue to follow down your path and whatever you decide for us to do, may be the name of yours, Jesus Christ.
Guys, how are you?
Not vegan yet. Three quick
Three
questions.
questions.
What are the questions?
Oh, okay, the first question is, do you know what veganism is?
What is veganism?
So it's the rejection of everything using an animal, from meat, cheese, milk, and eggs, to entertainment,
clothing?
Yeah, like clothing, and testing, animal testing, along those lines. The second question is, do you believe in oppression and violence? This is a tough question. Actually, it's not. You probably have a swift answer for me.
Yeah, I believe it's something.
I believe in just oppression and just violence.
Oh, oppression and violence. You don't believe in it.
Just oppression and just violence.
So, you guys in your hearts, you're obviously against, violence and things along those
Yeah,
lines.
I was vegan for a month. So
Okay.
I tried it.
Tested the waters.
I was vegan for a month because I had to compete in a swimming competition.
Oh, right on.
I cut off
right on.
2 seconds off my time.
But my third question I ask people is, can you actually be against something when you're paying for it 3 times a day? Like, can you stand against oppression while paying for it, shoring it up 3 times a day? And that's the tough question. And I'm not catching anybody out because I did it for 30 years. I was not vegan for 30 years. And every single meal, I was the biggest meat eater you'd ever know.
Well, then the argument comes, okay, you stop buying from these places, but don't these places that do these things end up, it's one company at the top buying a big conglomerate underneath.
Yeah.
So inevitably, aren't you going to be giving money to that cause either way, even if, you were going to buy some salt, like a toothpick?
Well, so it all comes down to supply and demand. You're familiar with supply and demand dynamics and how precision tuned they are.
Yeah.
When you vote for the vegan option or the option that has to do with the least harm, you're placing a vote for that, and they're saying, okay, there's monetary demand for this. We're going to create more for this. So if I go to McDonald's in Europe, for instance, and I buy the McPlant, I'm saying, yes, I'm giving my money to McDonald's, but I'm voting for the vegan option because that's what I want you guys to create more of. And as more of us tilt our collective mindset and we sync our values with our actions, because that's all veganism is. It's simple. It's the golden rule. Once that kind of veil is taking off of our faces and industry kind of gets its shit off from around our necks in the collective tilt our purchasing dynamics, things will change. And
But do you think it's like a realistic reality? Like, do you honestly think in the near future, everyone or veganism will be the majority?
I do, because every injustice ends. Every injustice. Think of all the injustices that have ended throughout history. Just think of this, they've all ended. And it started with one person, which became 10 people, which became 100 people. The crux of it is, we are in 2024, and vegans have identified this injustice, which is paying for meat and cheese and milk and eggs. It's an injustice because we need nothing from it in our diet.
Wouldn't you say the human heart?
Nothing.
Wouldn't you say the human heart is naturally selfish?
Yes. Yes.
So then, how are you going to combat that unless you have some sort of spiritual deity to change that?
It's tough, but the best part about being vegan is it's selfish. It's like hedonistic altruism, because not only are you doing something for your health, but you're saying, I'm not someone that wants to support this anymore, and I'm taking myself out of the picture. And there's a sense of solidarity and pride in that. Plus, you're stewarding the environment, and there's a sense of solidarity and pride in that. So it is kind of selfish if you kind of tilt your perspective and just define selfishness that way. If you guys want, what would be the biggest thing keeping you guys from being vegan? What's your biggest barrier? You said you were.
Good medium rare.
Well, besides the
I feel I
steak's delicious.
A good, I
On
just
top
had
of that-
Chipotle. I think Chipotle is
Can
a
I
good
give you
thing
guys
that's
these?
not me.
I got some resources on there.
And then on top of that, I believe
There's two
that
here. Sorry, my hands are full
I
of
believe
shit.
I'm a Christian, so I believe the Bible says that God has given authority of man to kind of steward the world, and it's our responsibility. And
Well, what do you think about that?
and I think
What
we
you
and I
just
think
said.
and I think we failed. I think we failed, but
Yeah.
that's also because we live in a corruptible, non-perfect world. So
Yeah.
some people hope that with the return of Jesus Christ, everything's gonna go back to the way it should have been, and maybe that possibly includes being vegan.
Yeah, I mean,
because before the fall there was no death.
before the fall, the Garden of Eden was completely vegan. Revelation depicts this beautiful vegan utopia. So the beginning and the end were definitively vegan. In historical context, via the Bible, would definitely yield, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. But now we're not in historical space back thousands of years ago. we're literally right here. And I think if Jesus was walking down the street and he had the option to buy a plant-based option or something that mercilessly died for somebody's taste pleasure, I think he'd buy the plant-based option. He's the most compassionate man that ever lived. The main championing of the golden rule. Well, I think he would definitely do that. So I would challenge the reason that you have right there. And I would say, there's a movie out there called Christspiracy. It just came out like a few months ago, where they tie the whole control, the whole industrial control over religion, and they tie that to, telling people they can eat meat, they should eat meat, etc. And it's actually made by a Christian filmmaker, and it's unbelievably illuminating. You can probably find it through the resources I gave you there. But I mean, just because it tastes good, I mean, it shouldn't justify us taking somebody else's life.
What was your name again, sir?
My name's James.
James. Nice to meet you. James, can I pray for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks. Oh,
Lord,
go for it.
thank you for everything you've given us. Thank you for allowing me to meet this man. May we continue to follow down your path and whatever you decide for us to do. May be the name of yours, Jesus Christ. Thank you for everything you've given us. In Jesus' name.
Yeah, I appreciate
Give
that.
me
What's your
your
name?
Joel.
Joel, nice
Yes,
to meet
sir.
you. We
Nice
both
to
got
meet you.
biblical names.
Take care.
Think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I challenge you guys to think about it. The best part about being vegan is you sync your actions with your values. That's the best part.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys.